Mike, what I find interesting is that Pete Sampras is well aware of the demoralizing fact it has upon his opponents when he keeps acing them. He knows he's got the best second serve in tennis, and so he is really trying to crush their spirit by not allowing them to play.
Everybody comes out thinking that Sampras is going to knock one in there at about 125 miles an hour. Like people used to come to Dodger Stadium to see Koufax strike out 15, 16 a game.
That's right.
The anticipation, the expectations are great. Sampras, at the age of 24, is living up to all of them.
Shot. He sure did. And McEnroe might need a little rest after that one.
Yeah, I'd go over and towel off or something. 40-30. You don't see Pete with a smile on his face too often. But then again, you don't see emotion out of him much at all in any match.
That's true, you don't, but he definitely has his own charisma and his own magic out there.
Game to Sampras, and it's 5-3. Pete Sampras over John McEnroe here at the Great Western Forum. I'm Mike Walden along with Rich Gallion. By the way, young lady just came up. She passed along this note. Please ask Rich, will the USC women's team that he's now the head coach, will they be able to beat the UCLA women? Signed, Stella Sampras, Pete's sister.
Well, if Mike Garrett's listening, you know what my answer is.
Mike Garrett, the athletic director of USC, and congratulations to you again, Rich, being named the head coach of the Trojan women in tennis.
Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of fun, and in talking about Mike Garrett, what a great guy to work for.
Hey, that'll get you a raise.
Well, no, I mean that.
Passing shot off of the backhand.
Another second serve of McEnroe, so Pete's going to step in, and it was actually a very good second serve, landed deep, but Pete was able to hand it and knock it off down the line. That's what happens when you do get a little bit older. John's lost a little of his flexibility, so he used to actually be able to jump up and get those.
Had a lot of zip on that, sir.
I remember the days when he'd go after Lendl, and Lendl would be just ripping passing shots, and McEnroe just diving and leaping and jumping, and all the while keeping his touch. That was phenomenal.
Block that shot, and that's what happened when you pop it up like that. You pay the price, and Sampras was able to finish it off. McEnroe with 77 career titles. Now that takes in your singles, and he also has 77 titles, I think, in doubles. With Peter Fleming was his longtime doubles mate.
They were ranked #1 in the world for 4 straight years.
Here's the thing that gets me about that graphic, though. McEnroe, 77 career singles championships. He was a finalist in 31 others.
Well, he's definitely one of the best 5 or 10, or I don't like to compare, but of all time. So this is a pretty special athlete we're talking about. I'd say Sampras is still, trying to climb to that height.
But he's 12 years younger than Mac, and he might be able to surpass.
Oh, sure.
But again, injury. That's a big factor. He's got to stay healthy. So difficult to stay healthy nowadays because of the constant pressure, tournament after tournament after tournament. The pounding the body takes, especially the knees, the legs.
Well, there's a little bit of luck involved, so hopefully someone as talented as Pete Sampras or Andre Agassi will be able to stay away from any career-threatening injuries, and we can watch him play for years to come. There it is.
Yep, it sure is. Curled right into the tee.
The guys used to call that one the can opener. This is absolutely unreturnable. Not only is it hitting the line, it's going away.
Mac needs this game to stay alive in the first set. He's down 3-5. Oh, double fault. So McEnroe has 5 double faults, and he has 4 aces.
You can't blame him for being a little bit rusty.
Deuce.
Great baseline rally here. McEnroe's got very good ground strokes. Lines it up, nails it down the line. What I mean by very good, they're fundamentally extremely sound.
Let's listen in if we can pick up any conversation.
I'm just sitting on the lawn when he called it out. So I would say he doesn't have a clue. You think it's short of the call? You think it's short of the call?
It's a tough position for the chair umpire to be in because there's no way he can overrule that call. It's just too close.
And it's rest time for Sampras while all of this is going on.
This might be rest time for McEnroe too.
John Bramlett is yelling out to Mike Coon, saying, "Are you sure of your call?"
Yep.
Coon's nodding yes. There's Mike Coons.
Let's take another look. I'll tell you what, from that angle, it looks like it might have caught part of the line.
Now, it'll be McEnroe with the second serve. Sampras hits it out. McEnroe holds on, and he's still alive in the first set.
Sampras.
I bet you that was close to 120.
As a second serve, it might have been.
Somebody made a remark from the stands. We couldn't pick it up. 30 love, Sampras. Mac said it was out. Yeah. Let's see if we can see.
That's going to be impossible to tell.
No wonder he said it was out. It's out. It's out of reach.
Sweet Pete thought he made it, though.
We're even. All right, we're even now on that line.
We're even now. I don't know. 30-15.
It's a good try.
Coons has had some tough calls to make there. Oh, on both ends.
McEnroe had that all the way. He could see it clearly out.
Mac charged up. And why not?
Here comes Sampras. Good approach shot up the line. McEnroe holds it to the last second and is still able to pull the trigger and put it away cross court.
30 all.
That's just unfair.
6 aces tonight for Pete Sampras. He had 24 against Agassi Sunday to win the U.S. Open. See if he can toss in an ace to wind up the first set. Came doggone close. Then he whips that forehand. So game, first set to Pete Sampras, 6-4 over John McEnroe.
One thing that's a lot of fun about John McEnroe's commentating back at the U.S. Open is that he really doesn't bring his ego into it. He was very appreciative and complimentary towards other players. And a lot of times former champions sort of struggle with that. I would have done it this way or I would have done it that way. And McEnroe was great.
That's the reason I said at the outset that he had some popularity. Some people were against him. Some people were for him when he was a player. But now it's almost universal in people saying, hey, I like what he does on tennis telecasts. So he's still playing exhibitions at the age of 36. Very much in this game as a commentator. Let's check the stats. First set, 4 more winners for Sampras, but also 4 more unforced errors for Pete.
Well, it's the 58% on the first serve. That's what's killing John right now.
Remember the graphic that we had that McEnroe at one time was 82%? It's dropped to 58. That was out. 15 all.
Pete is really on just autopilot right now. He is hitting the ball so beautifully. And why not? After winning the U.S. Open, you've got to be feeling good.
Interesting comment he made. We were talking beforehand. I said that Sunday final against Agassi in the Open, it was so tremendous. Your play was so excellent, so superb. Can you play any better? The answer? Yes. I really feel I can. That's frightening to everybody else on the tour.
Oh, you bet. But so could Andre Agassi. And that's why it's going to be such a fun rivalry to follow for the next couple of years.
McEnroe 40-15. Right in the midsection, right in the middle of the court. 40-30.
Mac's volley landed a little bit short that time, enabling Sampras to get around and really tag it.
Just wait till I hit the drop shot, nail his ass in the ball. Shot.
Not ready for this.
Protect yourself at all times.
That one looked like it missed.
40-30. Pete chased it down, but the drive went over the baseline. Game, McEnroe. First game of the second set. McEnroe is Sampras. Lost the first set 6-4, but held serve here in the first game of the second set. Now you look at that career earnings total of 12, well, a little over 12 million, almost 12.3. Ranks 5th all time. But then again, you take in the exhibitions, the endorsements, the commercials, and so forth, and probably can multiply that 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Needless to say, he's not going to have to look for a job. But
and needless to say, he's not going to make $12.2 million, I don't think, playing the guitar. But be that as it may, he has a good time on the tennis court, and he loves to get up and entertain musically. Of course, nowadays you never know. You get a hit record and you make that on one record alone. 15, Love. A crowd of around 6,000–7,000 here tonight at the Great Western Forum watching McEnroe and Sampras.
Now that was the one play that McEnroe used to do to his opponents that would drive him absolutely wacky. That's something that Sampras doesn't do a lot of yet, and believe me, when he does, it's really going to be good night, Irene. Like that. It's very demoralizing when you're more offensive than your opponent is off of his own serve. And that's vintage McEnroe with great soft hands. Now, how'd you like to face that for an entire match all the time?
Exactly.
Now you can see how the guy won 7 Grand Slam titles, not to mention 9 doubles titles.
Not to mention that Sampras has won $2.17 million this year alone. And in November, he will be one of the players in that challenge over in Munich, Germany, where the winner walks away for 1 week, actually, what, about 3–4 nights work with $2 million plus. 30-40. But I guess everything, when you talk about monetary, pales in comparison to Deion Sanders. 35 mil.
That's just ridiculous. I can't believe they give that guy that much money.
Neither can Carmen Policy, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers.
No fault. Max got another great chance.
Very close.
I don't even think Dallas cares if he can play or not. They're just happy that the 49ers don't have him.
So we talk about the great numbers from a monetary standpoint in tennis. Seems like basketball, football. Well, football is still behind. Baseball. Although baseball is going to have a salary dip too.
Oh, sure.
That's in. Another passing shot by Pete.
McEnroe, a little unfortunate there. He played a pretty good point. He's going to take a serve, come running in, cover the down the line, but he can't quite pull the trigger to get up and get that. That's where the lack of flexibility starts to come into play.
So Pete now has the advantage. Pete serving quickly tonight. Not much wasted time between serves.
Just can't believe he missed that.
There's the Dunlop racket used by John McEnroe as it's strung at 53 pounds.
McEnroe's wiping off, toweling down.
By the way, if you're wondering about Pete Sampras, he plays with the Wilson Pro staff, and he has his tension at 80 pounds. The only other player that I can remember that high, Bjorn Borg.
That was unbelievably high, and that was a smaller headed racket, which
Right.
in comparison was much tighter. great to see Borg out in the senior events now.
Jimmy Connors has been dominating that 35 and over division that he's been trumpeting.
Let's see if McEnroe can hold here and keep that lead.
Going on 26. John McEnroe.
Well, you can see why at the beginning why I gave a little bit of edge in the wheels department to McEnroe. Look at him go. Watch the racket go back. He holds it and gets certainly a break from the net, because Pete would have had that for a winner if it hadn't touched the net.
30 love. Excellent point. Won by McEnroe to take a 40-love lead.
Similar to the type of point, although not quite as great as the one that Sampras and Agassi had at set point in the first set, where Pete finished them off with the winner after about 20 balls.
McEnroe with another ace. His 7th of this match. McEnroe 2-1 here in the second. Then Courier, Sampras, and Jimmy Connors.
21 seems like the magic number, though.
Yes, it does. And I have mentioned several times that Sampras is 24. He only turned 24 a month ago, 12th of August.
Oh, this is too good.
You could hear Maxie. Yep. It's about all you can do.
Well, and at least Mac can't feel too bad, because he did the same thing to Agassi last week. So he's got company.
Put Sampras up by two rather in the ace department. 9-7. 9 Sampras, 7 McEnroe. Of course, right at that point, it's the highest point in the net at 3 feet 4 inches. 3 feet right in the middle. And if you don't hit it right, then you dump it right into the net.
Sampras was definitely going for it. He hit that as hard as he could.
The sound of an ace, let alone the velocity of one.
I can promise you we don't have a radar gun, but that was at least 130. Again, gorgeous action, leans up. And this one, he really does try to hit as hard as he can.
Game to Sampras. It's 2-all. Second set. Sampras 6-4 in the first.
Sampras has only got a few more days off before he's got to get himself over to Las Vegas to start preparing with Tom Gullickson and the rest of the boys, Andre and Todd Martin, to try to get the Davis Cup, which would be very hot in Las Vegas.
That's right. That'll be next. Of course, it's indoors at over there in Vegas. I think it's Caesars, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And it'll be Sampras and Agassi playing singles for Tom Gullickson and the U.S. team, and then Todd Martin will play doubles with Jonathan Stark.
forehand by McEnroe, able to hold it to the last second. Pete took off the wrong way, and John actually had a pretty easy shot there.
Engqvist will be playing for the Swedes. Stefan Edberg, maybe even Mats Wilander.
Engqvist and Bjorkman are going to be favored just about against any duo we throw out there right now in the doubles.
I think Engqvist is one of the rising stars on the pro circuit. Thomas Engqvist.
Big serve for McEnroe right up the middle.
I guess if you had to reflect, what's been the most surprising thing about McEnroe's performance tonight has been his serve. Been crackling. Game McEnroe. So we haven't had any service breaks here in the second set. We're right on serve.
I think he was starting to get a little bit weary. But it shows you how great he is, because he got to the finals of the U.S. Open not playing his best tennis.
Back upset that he wasn't able to volley better from the backhand
45.
side. 40-15. Now he's really going to be upset after missing that.
You can appreciate why he would get frustrated every now and then, because the game for so long was so easy for him, and it still is. It's just unfair that he's playing the best player in the world.
No service breaks in this set. Only one so far in the match, and that was in the 5th game of the first set. McEnroe lost his service, and that was the key in Sampras' 6-4 first set victory. Now we're 3-all in the second.
I'll tell you who deserves a great amount of credit tonight is Jeannie Buss. She puts together some tremendous shows. Get the U.S. Open champion 5 days after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I hope her pops can bring in the stars for the basketball team the same way.
In the double fault department, that is 7 by Johnny Mac. What a shot. That's so difficult. It's right at your shoelaces. You got to bend down. A lot of zip on it.
Yeah, it's a perfect return, and Sampras has a great return because he takes such a short backswing, steps in, and gets plenty of power. You don't see him standing on his heels, taking a big wind-up, going for a big loopy type of shot. Like that.
Oh, my. There are cross-court shots, and there are cross-court shots. Can't get any better than that.
Now here you'll see a great return to serve. Short backswing, barely brings it back, throws the weight forward. It's just how to do it.
Triple break point, Pete Sampras. Well, it staves off one.
That's true. I think recently that's been Pete's favorite shot, that forehand up the line.
Story on the break points. Well, he's dodged 2 bullets now, McEnroe. From love 40 to 30-40.
Watching John play, it's real easy to see why he was one of the best players in the world. Great serve, great touch of the net, put an incredible amount of pressure on the returner.
Let first serve. McEnroe was #1 in the world 4 straight years, from 1981 through 84. Prior to that, he was an All-American at Stanford. Played just 1 year up at Stanford for Dick Newell.
You couldn't blame him. He won the NCAAs his freshman year.
That was in '78.
The team won the championship. There wasn't a lot else for him to do. He'd already been to the semifinals of Wimbledon, so he knew where he stood as far as the Pro Tour was concerned.
Well, you can dodge one bullet, you can dodge two, but that third one can be so elusive, as it was in the case of John McEnroe. A service break, and Sampras takes a 4-3 second set lead. But age is relative, they say. And you remember how long Nolan Ryan pitched.
Great serve.
It was, yes.
Ken Rosewall was in the finals of Wimbledon and Forest Hills, or pardon me, no, that's correct, Wimbledon and Forest Hills in the same summer at the age of 40. So
We tend to forget about that.
yeah.
I will say this, though, the competition today far superior than it was in Rosewall's heyday. Now, Rosewall and Laver and others wouldn't agree with that.
Pete in a little bit of trouble there.
A little bit.
Between the old legger.
(40-15).
Thank you, Reese.
Johnny Mac sauntering over. Little visit with Mike Coons. Nope, that's not Mike. I'm sorry. That's Scott Suskin. Or Scott Vorkin.
That might be it. They might call it.
Anybody that's ever played the game has missed an overhead like that. Now the jump, I think, does him in.
Yeah, he's going for the alley-oop, a little showboat, and doesn't quite pull it off.
Sampras now with a 5-3 lead.
You've got to applaud McEnroe, though. He's really doing every single thing he can to give the crowd a good show and play his best.
Yeah. Pete says this is the way you do it, John. You leap and finish it off.
Sampras is just a beautiful athlete.
Both keep their eyes peeled on the overhead scoreboard. The replay of the points. (15-love). No break for Sampras. The net was not kind.
He wanted that one.
McEnroe with a 30-love lead, trying to stay alive in the match. Sampras 6-4 first, up 5-3 in the second. That's up.
You're not going to see him outsteady Sampras too often. Did a good job there.
McEnroe.
The crowd would love to see John McEnroe break serve here and keep this thing going.
Yes. Yes, it's out of there. May not have been able to hit it anyway, but it was wide.
Finally, he missed one.
15 all.
And McEnroe's in no hurry to get off this court either. He's enjoying himself.
Throw the man off. Throw off his timing. Line up there. It's showtime. $15 all. That'll be a first serve on the let.
He's serving, okay?
A couple of the ball kids over there not knowing exactly where they're going to throw the ball. McEnroe say, hey, he's serving. Yes, he is. He meaning Pete.
Yeah, I'm going to get him first if I can.
McEnroe is encouraging the crowd to keep heckling Pete, maybe take his mind off things. Here comes Sampras with a beautiful forehand. He's going to make no doubt about this with the alley-oop and the slam dunk into the crowd.
A real exclamation point. Sampras 2 points away from wrapping it up. Pete had to take a glance up at the monitor scoreboard above to admire that overhead. Don't blame him. Uh-oh, there's the ace. Twelve aces tonight for Pete Sampras. The crowd urging him on. One more, Pete. Pete Sampras started this match with an ace. Can he end it with an ace? Well, he was going for it. It was wide. Deep backhand keeps McEnroe off balance, and Pete Sampras with 7 Grand Slam titles, including the U.S. Open, comes in here to the Great Western Forum and beats McEnroe 6-4, 6-4 in the challenge round.